You now know how to find the slope of a line given 2 points on the line. There's also a method for finding the slope giving an equation of a line. And to find the slope of a given line, we're going to use something called the slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. This is called the slope-intercept form, or formula, because we can identify the slope and the y-intercept if our equation is moved in this format. So we know which of the variables is the slope. We know that whatever the m is slope. Slope equals the variable m. And b here is the y-intercept. The y-intercept equals the b. So, in an equation like this one, 3x plus 4y equals 8. All we have to do is to move things so that we are in y equals mx plus b form. So first thing I'm going to do is move the 3x from, okay, this cancels. That leaves us 4y equals negative 3x plus 8. Okay, notice that I put the negative 3x in front of the 8 instead of after it so that it's in the right form. Next, I need to isolate y, and I do that by dividing everything by 4. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. Okay, so now we have an equation. It's in y-intercept form, slope-intercept form, and we can identify the slope. The slope is m. The slope is right here. So m equals negative 3/4. And we can also identify the y-intercept, which is positive 2. Okay, once we know those two things, this equation is very easy to graph. So we have our grid. The first, oh, let's redo that. Okay, the first point that we're going to plot, we're going to start at the origin, and we're going to, since our y-intercept is 2, 1, 2, we'll plot the point right there. Then from that point we can follow the slope for the other, negative 3/4. So we can go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4. And our line of that equation will look like that, only of course it would be a straight line. Okay, notice that it is a negative, has a negative, it's a negative line, and our slope is a negative slope. Okay, all right, so let's try one. All right, 2x minus 4y equals 16. We want to get it, first and foremost, we have to follow our formula. Y equals mx plus b, which you really need to memorize that this is the form. Okay, we want y to be on the left by itself, so we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. Cancel out. That leaves negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 16. Again, I put the negative 2x in front of the 16 so that it follows the formula. Okay? We're not finished. We need to get the variable by itself, so we're going to divide everything by negative 4. Cancel. Y equals, we have a negative and a negative, so that makes a positive. Positive 2/4 x minus 4. And 2/4 can be reduced. Y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Okay, so we took our original equation and we put it in y equals mx plus b form right here. And now we can graph that. There's our grid. Okay, our y-intercept is negative 4. So we start at 0, we find negative 4, plot our point. Now our slope is 1/2, positive. So we go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And we can connect that line, and that is what our line will look like. We know that the line is rising, it's positive. We're checking our slope. Our slope is positive. They match. So it's reasonable to think that we did it right. Okay. Now, let's talk about kind of lines that are parallel. Parallel, notice the two L's right here? They are always going to be, they're side by side. They are never going to touch each other or cross. Parallel lines are lines that never touch. They will never cross. Even if we extend them, they're still never going to cross. They are called parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines will have the same slope. It will be the same coefficient, the same number, and the same sign. So y equals 3x minus 4, and y equals 3x plus 1 will be parallel because the slope in both cases is 3. So those two lines are parallel. And I'll prove it on a graph here. We graph the first line. First point's at negative 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. So that the first line will look like this. Okay. It rises, so it's a positive, and the slope is positive. The second line, I'm going to start at 1. Okay. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. Okay, so if you look, you can see that those two lines are going to run side by side, and they have the same slope, so therefore they are parallel lines. Okay, now let's take 3 equations and let's see if any of these are parallel. We have 3y equals negative 9x minus 5. put it in the right form, we're gonna y equals mx plus b. So let's divide everything by 3. Y equals negative 3x minus 5/3. Okay, there's one equation. All right, the next one, 2y minus 6x equals negative 5. We're going to add 6x to both sides. 2y equals 6x minus 5. Divide by 2. Y equals 3x minus 5 halves. Okay, this line has negative 3 as the slope. This one has 3. Negative 3 and 3 are not the same slope. So those two lines are not parallel. 12x plus 4y equals 1. I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. Four y equals negative 12x plus 1. Okay, divide everything by 4. And we get y equals negative 3x plus 1/4. Okay. Slope is negative 3. The slope here is negative 3. So these two lines are parallel.